welcome once again to another eagerly anticipated edition of We Move with Super Eagles as the days continue to go by before the start of the African Fiesta in Cameroon. Welcome to the show. My name is Tolu Shotale. The program is proudly brought to you by MTN, the official communications partners of Nigeria's national teams, and, of course, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I've got the guys here with me, as always. Bada Akintunde Johnson, introduced first, as we always do. Nice hat, though.
Yeah, thank you. Boots laced. I couldn't come in shorts. I wish I could. I wish I could actually look like, the footballers gearing up, getting ready, because that's how I feel on the inside. Can't wait for the action to start. Cameroon 2022. Here we come.
All right. The queen of freebies to some people is here on the show also this week. Dressed, what's the inspiration, Ose, to this outfit?
Purity.
You look like the slash between a goddess and a nurse. Just saying.
Are you for real right now? No freebie for you.
All right, so we've got a lot to get to on the show today, most especially the fate of local-based players when the Super Eagles list for the African Fiesta gets released. We'll find out who and who to expect on that shortlist. My name is Tolu Shadade. It's still We Move with Super Eagles. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll get into the thick of things.
One of them to show. I've been in the home base. If I don't have that opportunity, I'll not be where I am today. So for me, I feel very happy that the coach give a lot of them experience to join us. One thing I'm going to say, you are the mediums. I always say in the internet, you want the coach to call up new players. So calling up new players like one or two is not anything bad. As you can see, it's not anything new. It's just the home base, like 2 players or 3. Coming up to the Super Eagles. So I think for me, that is a very big opportunity for them to show themselves. So for the coach giving some of the players opportunity to show themselves, for me, I feel very happy about that.
We will be looking at the very, very curious case of local-based players in the Nigeria Professional Football League and their fate as a new manager takes charge of Nigeria's national football team, the Super Eagles. It must be remembered that the former Super Eagles coach, Gernot Rohr, didn't particularly give a chance to NPFL players. Last time NPFL players made a big splurge in the Super Eagles was on the way to winning the tournament the last time out when Stephen Keshi, the late Stephen Keshi, was manager of the Super Eagles. So on the show today, we'll be looking at whether or not, under the new dispensation, the new man, Austine Eguavoen, will be open to giving NPFL players a shot at the African Fiesta. Kisunde Bada, I famously heard someone say that the worst foreign-based player is better than the best player in the Nigeria Professional Football League.
It's like saying the best secondary school student or the worst secondary school student is better than the best primary school student. And I use that analogy very deliberately and intentionally because the best guys in the local league aspire to end up in Europe. Yeah. If you're good enough, you're probably not playing in Nigeria. And that's due to no fault of any national team manager. It is just what it is. What's the quality of and there's no disrespect to the local game. It's just about the lack of organization, lack of sponsorship, lack of quality playing surfaces, lack of atmosphere, how many places actually get packed out or anything near, full on match day. So, and you look at, the players in Europe, some of them played at home before they moved abroad. The difference is clear. In quality, the quality of coaching they're exposed to, the quality of infrastructure, the science, the technology at their disposal to measure almost everything, to track almost everything, performance, indices and metrics and all those things are clear. All of those things were still kind of stuck in the 80s or the early 90s at best. So some managers actually make it priority to take a few players from the local league and expose them. But I wouldn't sit here and make that a mandatory for a national team manager because at the end of the day, you die or live by the results that you get, not the altruistic or, good intentions that you have. So, especially now, with Eguavoen coming in barely days to the tournament, he doesn't have the time to try to bring in any player he wants to. The national team is not a nursery. Right. We want the best players to go and perform. And right now, I can't look at the league and pick out one or two players who will improve the team. If it's about just making up numbers, there's no time for that.
All right, there's been this talk around the local-based players from eternity, from when the Super Eagles started playing football all the way till now. I'll say, if you look at the time frame to the African Fiesta, can Austine Eguavoen take the Keshi risk of going to the local league? Like, for instance, we talked about in previous episodes about how we're not so certain about Leon Balogun and William Troost Ekong. Can he go into the Nigerian Professional Football League, get out to Godfrey Obabona like Keshi did back in the day, just stick him in there and see what happens?
There are a lot of factors that will not favor that at the moment. Like Bada already said, we're barely how many weeks left to the tournament? Nothing is happening, so he can't say, okay, that's a Tolu Shotadi there. I want to pick him. He's doing super well.
I'm doing super well, by the way.
So like he's not watching them. He can't see them, even if he wants to take that risk. There's no player that comes to mind at the moment. He can't just even turn on his TV and say, okay, let me watch Lobby Stars playing or something and then see someone. It doesn't work that way. And he has a point to prove. Well, not necessarily a point to prove, but the idea is that Raw was taken out so that he can perform some sort of magic and we could go to the tournament and probably get a gold or a silver at best. So he has a point to prove, and he's not going to ruin his chances by taking local players because honestly, nobody comes to mind.
All right, the Nigeria Professional Football League is in its early days, so really can't pick anyone at the moment. Let's go with the crowd then and ask whether or not we can find a player in the Nigeria Professional Football League who can make the step up into the Super Eagles right now. Would you look at the Super Eagles manager and compel him to pick players from the local league? Let me go with the man right in front of me. Would you compel, if you were the sports minister, were the guy who's paying the salary of the Super Eagles manager, would you compel him to pick players from the Nigerian league?
No, I won't compel him because I think, like Mr. Bada said, he's one of the technical director before. So, and one of his duties should have been looking for players who can fit into one thing or the other. So, by a reason of fashion, you should be able to know who to pick and who not to pick.
All right. Let me go with the man behind you. You can pass the microphone to him. So we look at it and we accept that the foreign-based players will always be better than guys here.
Well, I don't really think the foreign-based players are actually better than the locally based players because we're playing this in Africa. This is African football. And we're going to face players who are actually playing their football in Africa. So saying that, using that metric to judge might be a bit dicey. If I may say, we are having a defensive crisis. We had a fantastic defender in the NPFL named Olisanda. He won with Aqua United the previous season. He was even doing well when he was at Remo Stars. Now, Orlando Pirates have signed him. He's in form. He has started with the team. And I think, he could also get a shout also in the national team too.
All right, that's a very key point, though. So we will be keeping our fingers crossed as far as how Austine Eguavoen relates with our local-based players as we come ever closer to the start of the African Fiesta. We'll take a break now. On we move with Super Eagles. When we come back, we'll get into more of it. Stick around, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We move with Super Eagles, brought to you by the official communication sponsors and partners of the national team, MTN. My name is Victor V6 Godfrey, and I'm out here, beautiful sunny streets of Lagos. It's a bit warm, but we love it. I'm with a chilled guy, a guy who is made of safety and precaution. Bidemi, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I forgot to mention that you're actually a very handsome person as well. You're very handsome. Yeah.
Come on.
So, ladies, thank me later, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about what we're here for, which is the Super Eagles, right? Now, we are just a few weeks away from the biggest footballing fiesta in Africa. And the question now is, should Austine Eguavoen, our interim coach, go with home-based players, or should he stick with, the already established foreign-based players? Or a third option, should he mix it up?
I think we shouldn't apply sentiments when we want to select players. I think it should be based off on merit. So if you're good enough, I think you should go, irrespective of whether you're home-based or from the national, from foreign countries or something. So if you're good enough, go for it.
We have a dilemma. Should our coach, Austine Eguavoen, pick home-based players or should he pick foreign-based players for the big competition next year in Cameroon?
I think they should go for the home-based players because these guys, they really have the passion of it for it right now. They've been putting a whole lot of work into what they are doing, and they've not been getting that light, that mainstream light has not hit them. Yeah. So I think they should go for the home-based players. These guys, I've seen them play, I've seen their passion in what they do. Man, they should go for those guys.
I think he should mix it up. Like, he should pick based on the performances. If you're giving top-notch performances, like you're doing well wherever you are, you should go for you. That's my own opinion.
Well, that's very short, simple, and straight to the point. Now I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay.
Are you actually very confident that we can win this competition? On a scale of 1 to, I'm not sure.
Okay, I think with the right selection, the right tactics, the right coach, I think we can win this, irrespective of what we think right now. So come on, you Super Eagles, let's go.
What's the difference between regular data and MTN data? I'll show you. With regular data, you get this. But with MTN data, you get moved right into the action like this. And this. And this. And this. With MTN data, you don't just get more, you experience more. Need loads of data to live your dream? Turn it up on MTN, the reliable data network.
All right, welcome back. It is Still We Move with Super Eagles, like it says at the back here. Yeah, here. The show is proudly brought to you by MTN. Don't forget, they are the proud communications partners of Nigeria's national teams, most especially the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So let's move to team focus next. And the team we're looking at today are the Cape Verde national team. Since making their first appearance at the African Fiesta in 2013, Cape Verde have continued to make a significant process in African football. And most Nigerians will remember that it did give the Super Eagles a scare on their way to qualifying for the playoff round of the FIFA World Cup. And guys, they might not be a household name when it comes to the African Fiesta. They've never won the African Fiesta, but they are a team who are capable of causing a few surprises, you guys.
Yeah, if they tighten up at the back, I think the biggest problem is actually just gifting teams goals. The away game against them, they literally just, press the self-destruct button, a 20-yard pass going back to the keeper, looping in. Those things are inexcusable at the top level of football. But going forward, I actually thought that throughout the qualifiers, they looked a lot more cohesive and they had a definite plan on how they were going to attack. Their points of attack were very definite. They had players who could run the channel, and they have players in midfield who could pick a pass or two. So if I rate them from an attacking standpoint higher than the Super Eagles that we saw in the qualifiers, then it tells you that if they, like I said, tighten up at the back and they get a lot of confidence or some measure of confidence in themselves beyond what we saw in the qualifiers. I think the critical thing which will sort of limit them is the fact that they don't have big-name players. And you can think big-name players still have to perform on the pitch of play, but there's a reason why they're big-name players, because they've done this over and over again at the highest level. So they've got the temperament for the occasion. And players like this from Cape Verde can fizzle out. The occasion can get to them. Even the things that they know will disappear. And, And that's what you would call stage fright, for teams that are not experienced as this.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest problem. If they can be calm, be composed, and focus on the things they know how to do, they'll trouble a few big teams.
All right, let's look at their group at the African Fiesta. And they are alongside the host Cameroon, former finalists Burkina Faso and Ethiopia. And in terms of how a group can be, that's pretty much, check out Cameroon, especially when you saw the way they performed against the Super Eagles. They'll fancy their chances against Burkina Faso and Ethiopia.
Yes, definitely. And who knows, they just might make it to the quarterfinals like they did in 2013. They may not have the big name, but I think they play as a unit. They play attacking football. And I think that will come in very handy. They know exactly why they are there. And you never know. I mean, it starts with just one tournament. This could be the tournament where they probably make it to the semifinals. They may not be making it to the finals. Not me. They definitely will not be making it to the finals. But you never know. This may just be that year. I mean, in the Premier League, we see how
What about key players to watch out for this team?
Yeah, I know we've got Ryan something.
Julio Tavares, who was very impressive in qualifying, especially against the Super Eagles.
Yeah, but I mean, a couple of names jump at you, but not quite. We've got Ryan Mendes, because I was trying to remember that. I know there was a Ryan something, because it was quite cute. Anyways.
This guy?
Yeah, it's quite cute.
This guy?
It's quite cute, Tolu.
This guy?
He's handsome than someone in the studio. Yeah.
This guy?
Yes, and he's done his time in France. He has I think 12 goals in 55 appearances.
Okay.
Not so bad. Not so bad. That's fair enough. So hopefully they will just go far. They'll get past the group stage. In fact, I'm rooting for them to get past.
What's the one thing though, Bada, that we should maybe expect from this Cape Verde team at the African Fiesta?
Like I said, they play, as I said as well, they play as a unit. They have a plan. They're pretty organized. If the individuals, in the setup do their job, because you can have a very disciplined, organized setup, and just a lack of concentration on the part of one person can undo all of the plan. And that's what happened to them in qualifiers. And the tournament, if each individual will just focus and concentrate, like Ose said, the last time out, that's exactly what happened. That's what pushed them as far as they went, because there was no standout player, but as a unit, they keep it solid at the back. They work the ball the way they like to do, play with a bit of flair, create chances, take one or two of them. I don't see them going to the quarterfinals this time, but I think that at least they should make it out of the team, and that should be some measure of success as well.
All right, so we're in unison that they will not be champions at the African Fiesta.
Yes,
hell no.
They won't be champions.
All right, so we'll take a break next, and when we come back, we will continue to move with Super Eagles. Stay tuned.
If I buy this bully, now trekking be my portion. We do. It be like say it happen for them. Almost level. No darling, after all of us now visitor. Oh boy, now me don't want place with 7 times a woof. Bros don't get 5 times a woof. And this I don't collect 6 times a woof. This one now, woof everywhere you go.
Whether you be new or old MTN customer, turn up a woof with the boss spray everywhere you go.
Bobby, make una show.
Super Eagles proudly brought to you by MTN. Now it's that segment of the show that I'm sure you viewers at home and of course our lovely audience love. It is the Game On segment. Okay, so this week it's pretty straightforward. We won't be having polls or baskets and tossing balls, just questions. Time to test your football knowledge. Shall we? All right, first question. Some people are already scared, don't worry. It's pretty easy. First question. Which of these names never coached the national team of Nigeria? Which of these names never coached the national team of Nigeria? And the options are Karl-Heinz Marutsky, Ayotunde Adelakun, Jack Finch, Joseph Embar, and Adegboye Onigbinde. Man in blue, please take the mic.
Joseph Ember.
Someone else?
I think you should be the first one.
The first. Who is the first one? What's the name of the first person? All right, so I'm going to go to the very next question because apparently nobody knows the answer. This one is very simple. Mention 3 Super Eagles players with 100 caps and above. Yes. If you don't know, you can give the mic to the man beside you or in front of you. Anyone.
Ahmed Musa.
Okay.
Joseph Yobo.
Okay.
Ahmed Musa.
Okay.
Joseph Yobo.
Okay.
And Vincent Oyema.
Give him a round of applause. All right, so with that, we have come to the game on segment, and we have just one winner. Can you kindly make your way to the front, please? Give him a round of applause. It's not his fault that you didn't get the question right. All right, so this is for you, Kutsi MTN. Would you have it, MTN?
Thank you so much, MTN, for this gift. I really appreciate it.
Oh, he really appreciates. Look at his wide smile. Okay, so just before we wrap this up, let me give you the answer to the first question. Which of these names never coached the national team of Nigeria? Karl-Heinz Marutsky, Ayotunde Adelakun, Jack Finch, Joseph Emba, and Adegboye Onigbide. And the answer is Ayotunde Adelakun. Clap for me. Yeah! All right, so and with that, we have come to the end of the game on segment. They always complain that the games are pretty hard, and we give them easy questions, and they still didn't get it. You got just one. Anyways, remember to follow the conversation online on Instagram. It's at MTNNG. Facebook and YouTube is at MTN Nigeria. Tolu and Bada, I know for a fact that you didn't know the answer to the very first question.
I don't think there's a point in even answering that question.
But Bada, you seem to know the history so much. Did you?
But you never asked me the questions, did you?
You didn't know it. You didn't know it.
How would you think that Adelakun had been Super Eagles?
Sounds like a pastor's name.
I know the man, by the way. All right. So just in case you're just joining us, you have missed a very wonderful package. But you can get a rerun of this exact show and, of course, previous episodes of We Move with Super Eagles. Just go to YouTube and follow it. That's at MTN Nigeria, and you will find the previous editions and, of course, this edition on YouTube. But from you, Bada, if there's one thing that we've learned today is that it is highly unlikely that we will find an NPFL player that will break into the team at the African Fiesta.
Maybe make the squad and depend or wait on a player getting injured or getting suspended. If Eguavoen is very serious about showcasing them to the world and building their confidence, he probably plays them when we're coasting. We're comfortable in games, winning 3-0, 5 minutes to go, he throws them in. But I don't expect more than 1 or 2 of them to make the final squad.
All right, we'll be rooting for them to make that squad and, of course, do Nigeria proud at the African Fiesta. This Fiesta, remember, begins on January the 9th. And right here on We Move with Super Eagles, we will be counting down to the African tournament. It's been a wonderful show. Thank you very, very much for watching. Remember, We Move with Super Eagles is proudly brought to you by MTN, the official communications partners of Nigeria's national teams, and of course, our darling Super Eagles. From myself, Tolu Shotari, Abewid Bada, Akintunde Johnson, and Osereme Inek Benebo. We'll see you guys next time.